Hey guys, it's Mrs. Montague back with another instructional video. This time I'm going to be showing you how to use Padlet. That's Padlet. And you go to padlet.com to start using it. It is a free website where you can share documents, videos, music, any other kind of content, simply just text boxes if you want to. But it's a place where people can go to collaborate, share projects, have discussions, all kinds of things. So as we get into this, you'll see a few of these features that I'm talking about, and I'll show you how to make your own Padlet. So I have the free Padlet version, and this is logged into my account now, so you can see the Padlets that I've got created already. And it looks very, very simple. So you've got the option to make a new Padlet, you've got the option to join a Padlet, and you've also got an option to view the gallery. So I'm going to open that in a new tab. If you view the gallery, you can see a bunch of Padlets that a bunch of people all over have created. So you can get some ideas that way, or just see what people are doing, and look at the different ways that you can use Padlet with the gallery. For back to our dashboard, so you can see I've got a few Padlets here that I've created. So I worked on a collaborative unit for the Crucible that Miss Amy Brown teaches. And so one of the ideas I had for her class to integrate some technology was to use a vocabulary log. So the purpose of this Padlet here, I'll open it up for you to see, which there's not any entries in it, but you can see the instructions that I made and kind of how it looks a little bit. So this Crucible vocabulary log, you would be posting any words or phrases that you didn't know that were in the text of The Crucible by Arthur Miller, by adding a little post in the Padlet. So if you go down here, you can see there's a little plus button, and you can add a post. So when I add a post, something will pop up here. You can give your post a title. A lot of times, you will put your name as the title for classes, because you don't have to actually have an account to use the classes. I can share a link to this Padlet with you guys, and you can anonymously post. So if you want to know what students are posting what, you can encourage them to create their own accounts, or you can tell them to go ahead and type their name for who's responding in their comments that they're leaving. So as you can see, I can write something in here, I can upload a file, I can add a link to a website, I can add something from Google, I can snap a photo, I can also see all these other things. I could film a brief video, I could record some audio, I could share my screen, I could make a drawing, I could add a location, or I could link to another Padlet. So there's all kinds of content that you can include in your Padlet posts that you make. And it's very, very simple. So that little plus button in the corner, once I click off of it, will always be there. And that's how you're going to add posts. So students can add a post. Here's a second post. Add a post, and you can add as many as you need. For this one, I made it just like a free posting Padlet, basically. So students are going to post, and they can post as many times as they want. But I do want to show you an example here. So this is Dr. Brewer. She is a professor at UNCG, actually teaches in the graduate program that I'm in. But she puts together some really awesome Padlets. So I wanted to show you this one that she put together that was about inquiry learning and backwards design. And this actually was a Padlet she shared with me when I was in her class. So you might see that I've actually got some comments in here. So she set this Padlet up with columns. So she's got this column over here on the far left that says what we know about inquiry and backwards design. The column in the middle says what we want to know about inquiry and backwards design. And then the last column is what we learned about inquiry and backwards design. And then if I scroll down in each column, you can see that all kinds of people were sharing their thoughts in each column. So that's a quick little assessment that you can do to check in with your kids and see how well they're understanding a topic. The way that she's got this set up is called a KWL chart. So it's what you know, what you want to know, and what you've learned. And it's a great way to assess where students are at, where you might need to go back and give more instruction, and see what students have been learning and celebrate those accomplishments that they've had. And then this last question of guided questions over here, she's got just the instructions on what we're supposed to do with this post. So this is something that she's got built in that I can't edit or do anything with because that's like a locked post that she's made to provide everyone with instructions. So if you find a post that you've made, and I'll hop back into this vocabulary Padlet that I made a few posts in. So I can realize, oh, I accidentally posted that and didn't have any content in it. So if I hover over it, you see that my edit option is coming up. So I can click on that to edit this post, or I can delete the post. And that's on any post that you've made. The additional buttons I think is really cool. You can actually change the color of your post to customize it a little bit. You can copy a post and put it on another Padlet, or you can expand the post and make it big. So if you're doing like an introduction or like an instructional video, with one of the Padlet posts, or you want students to focus in on one of the posts while you're talking, you can expand that so everyone can see what's going on. So back to my dashboard, we'll go through now and actually create a Padlet so you can see that process. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Make a Padlet right here. Now, they have all of these built-in options for you to be able to make your Padlet. So there's a wall, which is basically just all of the posts that the students make are just put on there, and it's just like a wall of sticky notes is what it looks like to me. You can do a canvas, so that allows you to group posts and connect posts in different ways. So if you're doing like a brainstorming session with Padlet, you can move people's ideas around and kind of have a visual representation of all of those ideas. You can do a stream, so that would be just like a stream on social media on Facebook or the stream in Google Classroom. It's just going to give you a running stream of what people are posting in order. The grid is just going to snap all the posts to a grid and put them in neat little rows and columns. The shelf, I think, is really cool. That is what Miss Gruer used for the inquiry and backwards design example that I showed you. She used the shelf, so each piece of content was in a different column. So you were responding to each column as you went through the Padlet. The back channel is more like a group chat kind of situation. This map one I think is really cool. You can put a map into the background and then students can add contents to that map, so they can point out specific locations, write up posts about certain things they've learned about geographical areas, things like that. So that's pretty cool. And then the timeline is the last option. And just like you think, that's a timeline. So it puts all your posts on a timeline and kids can go through and order those and build a collaborative timeline. So I'm going to actually select this wall option. It's just the most basic one and show you how to use that. So it will give you a box over here. Let me move myself. Okay, so your box over here on the right side is where you can modify your Padlet. So you can give your Padlet a title. So this is just my Padlet example. You can give a description. So as you noticed in my Crucible vocabulary Padlet, I gave a description of what students were supposed to be posting there. So you can do that, or you can do an explanation of what the Padlet is about. Whatever makes sense to put in there, you can put right in there. You can choose an icon that would show with your Padlet. So I like the little kitty faces, so I'm going to put one of the little kitty cats in there, and then you can see over here on the left that popped up right next to my title and description. You can also change the appearance of your Padlet using the wallpaper. So they've got all of these different pictures, textures and patterns, solid colors and stuff built in, as you can see, or you can also upload your own background image to use with your Padlet. So both of those Crucible ones, the images weren't loading for some reason, but I found an image on Google that I used for both of those that was a little bit more specific to the Crucible, so a little bit more customized there. You can also change your color scheme between light and dark. You can change your font style. The attribution will display an author name above each post, but as I said, you can be anonymous while using this, so it might not show an actual author name if you don't have students create an account first. You can allow comments or not on a post. You can have settings on where the post is positioned. So do the first posts appear first on this top corner, or do the last most recent posts appear first on this top corner? So that's how you set that, and you just toggle it between the two options. You can allow for reactions, so people can give a post a grade. They can give a rating out of 5 stars. They can upvote or like posts. So you can handle all of that from here. You can see, you can select which option you'd want to use. You can also allow for content filtering. So Padlet will automatically filter out profane words that students might try to post, and they do sometimes try, so beware of that. And you can also require approval for posting. So students can create their posts, but they're not going to actually show up on the Padlet until you go in as the teacher and approve each post as it comes in. And I skipped over it a little bit, but in this section right here, you can see the address for your Padlet. So you can click on this copy to clipboard link, and that will allow you to copy that link so you can paste it in an email, paste it in Google Classroom, paste it wherever you want to provide students access to that. And then it shows you the actual URL over here. So to get to this Padlet, it would be padlet.com/Alyssa_Montague/ PDTE, etc. You get the point. So that's how you go about sharing your Padlet with people. So if I click next up here, there's not any more settings to go through. So it's very, very simple. You're ready to start posting. So you can click start posting. You can see I've got my little plus button down here. We can start posting as soon as I share it out. And if you are a Padlet user, you can also click on the little heart button, which means that you're like the Padlet that you've just been on. You can choose to remake the Padlet, so it will like make a copy of your Padlet, and you can make modifications from there. And you can also share your Padlet from here as well. If you click on your little gear for settings, that's going to bring your modification tab back, so you can make any changes that you need to right there. And then our little ellipses right here with 3 dots gives us a few other options. So you can kind of go through these. You can clear all the posts. You can delete your Padlet. You can print your Padlet, export your Padlet, all kinds of other things. So you can check those out and see if there's any options in there that might help you out with what you're trying to do. And really, that's it as far as Padlet. That's one thing I like about it, is it's super simple. You can really, really quickly make a Padlet, send it out to your class, and get live feedback. and it's a great way to conduct some formative assessment and kind of do some check-ins with students and allow for some discussion as well, and all kinds of different setups and all kinds of different purposes you can use it for. One last thing I do want to mention is that I have the free version of Padlet, and they do limit you on how many Padlets you can make. So if you are making a lot of Padlets, you might want to get an account, which I believe is either $8 or $9 a month, but you can look on Padlet.com and find that information. So that upgrade will give you unlimited Padlets that you can create. So if you think you're going to use this tool a lot, you might want to consider upgrading. Otherwise, you will have a limited amount of Padlets that you can use. So you'll have to delete old Padlets in order to make new Padlets sometimes if you only have that free account. So as always, if you've got any questions, let me know. I'm happy to help.